Okay, so we are now live. We're streaming. So welcome to what we're calling our summer interlude, hosted by Sugar Labs. This year we have 14 students either participating in Google Summer of Code or Code for GovTech's DMP program. They're working on various projects under the umbrella of Sugar. And last week, we heard from the students working on music blocks projects, as well as Sugarizer. So that was 7 of our students. This week, we're going to hear from another 7. Today's a little bit more varied. Raspberry Pi, Python, Pippy, Raspberry Pi, some generative AI things, some games, as well as work being done towards, Flatpak and packaging. So about a month ago, these same students shared what they were going to do because they hadn't quite started. Well, some of them got a little bit of a start, but hadn't quite put in as many hours yet at that time. Now they've really had a chance to dig in under the guidance of the Sugar Labs community mentors, and they put in many hours since you first heard from them, and you can watch that video that's on YouTube if you want a reference of where they were at that time. And today we're taking a little check at where they are right now, and then we're going to do this once more in about a month, and by then they should be wrapping up their projects, and they can show their final work at that time. And the purpose of this is kind of twofold. One is, so that people following, what Sugar Labs is doing gets to get a kind of a window into the development at this level. How we're mentoring students on projects such as these, as well as for the education of the students that are working as Google Summer of Code or DMP interns. They get a chance to reflect upon the work that they've done, show the work that they've done, think about the challenges they've faced over the last few weeks, how they overcame them, and think a little bit about what's to come next. So with no further ado, we'll go through the roster. I hear there's some power outages, so we're going to, for that reason, start with Vaibhav Sangwan, who asked to go first, to avoid a potential interruption in the live stream. So Vaibhav is working on developing 8 math games for Sugar. Can you go first?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Vaibhav Sangwan, and I've been selected as an intern for Sugar Labs under Code for GovTech's dedicated mentorship program 2024. So I will be working on the development of 8 mathematical puzzle games over this summer, and I've already developed 3 of those games, and those activities are Tower of Hanoi, number guessing, and the third one is 3 utilities. So we will be going on each one of them one by one. So let's take a look at each one. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
It is visible.
Okay, so first of all, we will take a look at Tower of Hanoi. Everyone must have came by this problem once, at least once in their childhood. So all you need to do is you are given a stack of disks on top of a road, and you need to move this stack to one of the initially empty roads. The only rule is that you can move one disk at a time, and you cannot put a larger disk on top of a smaller disk. So for this particular level, for level 3, you are given 3 disks, and the solution is like this. So as you can see, that's how we move the stack of towers, the stack of disks. And as you progress in the further levels, like in level 7, you are given 7 disks, and that is much more complex than this particular level. So this will work for, different ages, different age groups. And also there is a help menu that describes how everything works, what are the controls, what are the rules. And yeah, that's pretty much it about Tower of Hanoi. And now we can move on to number guessing activity. That is the second one. So in number guessing, there are two modes. How the classic mode works is that the computer has thought of a number, and you need to guess what number the computer has thought of. You can do so by inputting your guess, and then the computer will prompt you whether your guess is too low or whether your guess is too high. But I have taken a different approach to it. So the computer has taken a random guess. We don't know what it is, and let's just unlock this box. As you can see, this is colored green. Now, all these boxes are colored from red to yellow to green, depending on how far they are from the correct target number. This is green, so this is pretty close to the target number. We should ideally look nearby its neighbors, but just for the showcase, we can take a look at this and see that this is orange, which signifies that it is much farther away from the target number. Now, if we take a look at some of the closer numbers, we can eventually find our target number, which was 16. This was the classic mode, and in the reverse mode, we can think of a number. We can think of a number between 0 to 99. So let's take an example. Let's think of 45. Okay, so in this collection of numbers, we can see that 45 is present, so we will answer yes. 45 is present in this collection of numbers as well. We will click on yes. Then it is not present here, so no. And by doing it for at least 7 times, the computer correctly guesses the number that we thought of. So yeah, these two modes are there in the number guessing activity, and we can take a look at the help section, which summarizes what to do and what every mode is about. Now we can move on to the third activity, which is 3 utilities. So 3 utilities is a classic network puzzle in which you are given 3 houses and 3 utilities, and you have to connect each house to each utility. It is a bipartite graph problem, and it is not solvable in planar, planar surfaces. So I implemented kind of a workaround for that, and we will take a look at that. So I'll just need to lower the volume for it because it is too high right now. So this is level 1. We can move on. This is level 2. And we can also see solutions. We can show hints. We can do all that stuff. These were pretty simple levels, and we have gotten 2 utilities now. As we move forward like this, we get 2 utilities and 3 houses. And we can see that the solution is like this. The hint for this is water flows underground and electricity is supplied through roofs. So I kind of uploaded the wrong solution here, but it is workable. So one utility is connected through the roofs, and the other utility is connected through underground. And for the last level, for the level 6, which is 3 utilities and 3 houses, you'd have to play the game yourself. It is pretty interesting, and you'd love it. So yeah, that's pretty much the progress from my side. I will be working on many new games for in the upcoming month, and yes, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Can you maybe share, one thing that you learned while doing this that you didn't know before?
Yes, so in Pygame, there aren't any really tools for animation and creating dynamic content. So to achieve that, I had to look at various approaches to figure out how to animate stuff in Pygame. And that was really interesting to me. I'm having tons of fun making the main menu for three utilities and making the particle system for number guessing activity.
Yeah, this is really great. My son, who just turned 7, has a laptop with Sugar Desktop installed and has been playing some of those Pi games, and he really likes them. So I think he'll be among one of your first testers. Okay, so let's go next to Sugar on Raspberry Pi with Anurag Singh and Aayush Raj.
Hi, I'm having a little trouble actually. My Pi's behavior is a little unexpected at the moment. Can I present at the last, please?
Okay, so you need a little bit more time.
Yeah. Right.
Can you give me an approximate amount of time that you need?
Just about 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shubham, can you go next then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is my screen visible?
Yes. And tell us, what you're working on, why it's important, and then get into it, please.
So yeah, for this summer I have been working on maintaining and porting the Flatpak activities, like all the activities which are there already on the Flatpak of Sugar. I'm going to update them, and while uh, after updating them, my task would be to port 12 more activities to Flatpak. For that, I have already ported three activities to Flatpak. Those activities are Flapbrackman, Typing Turtle, and Calculate. It has been ported but not hosted on FlatHub. I will be hosting them after the confirmation from my mentor, and uh, I have created a PR for hosting the Flapbrackman on FlatHub. So Uh, before starting, let's know how we can port those activities to Flatpak. In order to port the activities to Flatpak, we need to understand what are the dependencies required in the application which we are going to port. So first we need to make sure that all the dependencies, all the libraries which are needed for the application are there in our manifest. So manifest is a file which is written uh, for Flatpak, which will be used for building the application which we are going to port to Flatpak. So in order to port the application, we need to configure a manifest and create a JSON file which will be containing all the dependencies and instruction to how to build the application. After once the application is built, the main part is testing. So we need to test the application once it is built. So let's let's get through how we can install application through Flatpak. Like if you are just beginner to Flatpak, you need to first install the Flatpak in your system. If you are on Linux, then it's good. For installing it in Debian based system, we need to run this command sudo apt install Flatpak. I will show you this through a tutorial. Like I already have this Flatpak installed in my system. Running this would give me, let's see what it gives. So yeah, it is already there on my system. Once you have installed the Flatpak, you need to add the remote repo of FlatHub, which contain almost all the application hosted on FlatHub. So add this to your repo. These commands are there on the FlatHub website. You can visit there too. Flatpak installation. Yeah, quick setup. Here you need to select your distro. Like I have a Debian distro, so I'm going to click on this. And they have mentioned all the commands which are needed for this or needed for the installation. I have done this. I have already executed this command. Now I'm going to add the FlatHub repo to my. Now I'm going to execute this command of adding the FlatHub repository. So let's copy it and run it my terminal. So uh, once it is executed, now you can install all the application which are there available on Flatpak. So first, let's begin with installation of one of the application of Sugar Labs. So we have almost 27 application on FlatHub. I have list of all of them. So yeah, this is the list of the application which are available on FlatHub. And in order to install the application which are available on the FlatHub, we need to execute the uh, installation command in this order: Flatpak install, and then space. We need to mention the package which we are going to install. So I'm going to install a package named Speak. There is a activity named Speak in Sugar which is very famous. Let's install that. For doing that, let's type sudo flatpak no sudo flatpak install or dot sugar labs dot speak. So it's showing some error. Yeah, the spelling was wrong. It's capital S. So it is asking whether we want to install it in system or user. So I'm going to install it in system in user. And after that we need to type Y and press enter, asking for just confirmation. By this way we can install any application through Flatpak. Once the installation is complete, we can run the application using Flatpak space run space the name of the package which we just downloaded. So yeah, it's installed now. In order to list the application which are there in our Flatpak in our local machine, we can run this command: Flatpak space list. So this will list all the application which are there in our system. So recently I installed Speak, so it is there in my system, and installation type is user. So we can run this using Flatpak run space name of the package or dot sugarlabs dot speak. Yeah, so speaks is an activity where we can type anything and it will speak out to us. So let's type sugar and press enter. So yeah, it is working correctly. Similarly, the application which I have ported to Flatpak are there in my local system. Let me show you CD. So these are the application: calculate, Flapbackman, and typing turtle. I am working on make them fall and sell game. They are yet to be completed. Let me show you how we can build a Flatpak application on our local machine and check if it is working or not. So let's go to directory of Flatbackman. So in order to port any application, we first need to make a manifest, and We also need to provide meta info for FlatHub. It will These meta infos are used by FlatHub to show the user what the application is, what are the images used by the application. For example, let's visit FlatHub and search for an application of Sugar Labs. There is an application named Speak. For some reason, my internet is working slow. Yeah, here it is, Speak. So the file which contain meta info is made under uh, the name of the package uh, after hyphen info.patch. It is used by Sugar to uh, make a meta info. So the information which are there in the meta info are shown here on the FlatHub website. Like the images which we mentioned in the meta info are displayed here. The images which you are seeing right now are there in the meta info. Like in Flatpak, man, used I haven't used the screenshot yet, but in if we go to Speak, there we can see the meta info information of Speak. Sugar. mm, it is present in info.patch. So yeah, the screenshot mentioned in the info file, in the info patch file, are shown on the FlatHub website. So whatever we mentioned in the meta info will be used by FlatHub to depict the information of our application. So after that, once the application is installed, you may get uh, bored of it or you want to uninstall it. You can run the command flatpak uninstall, the name of the package which you have installed recently, like sugarlabs.speak. It will be uninstalled. It will ask for confirmation. Press Y and press enter. Yeah, the application will be uninstalled. You can see that by typing flatpak list. Yeah, so we are unable to see the application and it is no more. Now coming to building process of the application, once you have made a meta manifest and all the necessary things to port the application, what you can do is you can run the command flatpak builder user. It depicts hyphen hyphen user depicts whether we want to install the application in a user base or in system wide. So I'm going to install it in user. So I will type user. After that, type force clean hyphen hyphen install, and we need to mention the directory build directory which will be used to store the files, and then type the manifest file. uh, the spelling is wrong. So running this command will install the application to our system and it will build the application offline on our local machine. Once the application is built, it will be installed. So something is failing. I think the previous version of it is causing it to fail. Let me remove it. RM. So this will remove all the cache which was stored previously. Now I will run the flatpak builder command again, and this time hopefully it will be installed. If it doesn't install, then I will show you another application which is typing turtle. So objects are getting downloaded. Oh, so it is building Pygame. It will take time. Let me just build another application. CD. So I will build typing turtle. Let's build it. Flatpak builder. Yeah. Running this command would build this typing turtle application, and it is way faster than that Flabrakman because it is trying to build Pygame on our local machine. As Flabrakman was using Pygame as a dependency, Flabrakman has uh, Pygame library uh, being used. That's why we need to include the uh, Pygame libraries in the manifest, and once whatever we include in the manifest will be used during the build process. So since I have included Pygame libraries in my manifest, it will be built during the building process. While in typing turtle, Pygame was not used, only GTK was used, so it built it faster than Flabrakman. So it is built and installed on our system. Let's run this application first list. So let's see whether it is installed or not. Yeah, it is installed under the name org sugarlabs.typing turtle. For running it, we need to type flatpak run org.sugarlabs.typing turtle. Yeah, so this has run the activity. So our activity typing turtle is built successfully and is installed in our local system. In order to run the activity, click on start. It is an activity for typing lesson. Yeah, it is working fine. We can close it. So that's all for now. I have been working on cell game and make them fall. I'm getting some issues in porting these cell game and make them fall activities. They are also using Pygame, but somehow I am unable to get the issues. I am in constant touch with my mentor, and he is guiding me to overcome the issue. And the list of applications which have been ported are here, and 24 applications which were there on Flatpak were ported successfully. They have been earlier using Genome 44, but now they have been using Genome 46, which is the latest version of Genome runtime. Yeah, so all the application of Flatpak are now using runtime version 46. Let me show you uh, how we update the activities which are already there on the Flatpak. So in order to update the activities which are there on the Flatpak, we need to run a external Flatpak checker command. Let me go to a directory of color detector. In order to check whether the application is using the latest dependencies or not, we need to run this command. The command is mentioned in the readme file, so let me get the readme file. So yeah, in order to check the dependency of the color detector, we need to run this command flatpak run file system flatpak external data checker. Copy this command, paste it into the terminal, and press enter. It will check one by one all the dependencies which are being used by the this application. Since no dependencies are available for the update, it has given that no activities are there for update with zero errors. So that's all for now. Uh, for the for the next course of time, I would be working on the all left activities of Sugar. Like I have currently working on 5 activities. Out of them, 3 were already ported and 2 are in progress. Rest 7 would be done in the upcoming weeks, and I would update in the next meetup or next stream. Thank you.
Thank you, Shubham. This is a really great tutorial and overview of your project. You mentioned it a little bit, some of the things you ran into doing this, but if you could share, like one thing that you learned, through this process, I think that would be helpful to know.
Yeah, so like while I was updating the activities which were there on Flatpak, I came across a problem in color detector. Like I was not able to add a new attribute to the info file. Like s- in previous update, they mentioned that we need to mention the developer ID in the manifest file in
Hmm.
which is there in info. So yeah, here it is developer ID. The developer ID is used by FlatHub to identify the developer of the application. So I updated almost 23 activities without any error. While updating the color reducto, I don't know how I was unable to insert the developer ID into the info patch file.
Hmm.
Mm, in order to uh, add any attribute to the patch file, either we can just create the patch file from the beginning, or we can just add the attribute in the uh, current patch file with some minor changes. While doing any of them, like from updating from the scratch or editing the current patch file, I was unable to add developer id attribute. So I talked to my mentor, and he said that we need to do it from scratch. Like first, you need to add the dependencies which are needed to be updated. Then go to the next step. Then you need to identify which of the commit is causing this problem, and one by one, you can revisit every commit and try to change the info patch file in every commit and see whether you are able to get the final result or not. And this helped me a lot, and I was getting error due to this version 8. Let me see where it is. So there was a version 8 update in color reducto which was causing the problem of not letting me add the developer ID. And by the help of the mentor Martin, I was able to successfully do it. So that's my great learning. Like once you are there in a problem, you can take help from the mentor, and he would help you, and you get to learn something which was a stopper in your uh, learning. So it was a great experience.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. That's a great story. Um, Ayush, do you need more time?
No, no,
Uh,
that's
yeah, just 2 minutes more.
Okay, so I'll give you about 6 minutes because next we have Kshitij Shah. Um, we have a video. He couldn't make it live to this, but he sent in a presentation beforehand. I watched it already. It's really great. Um, and let me just get that started. He's working on like an AI assistant to learn Python through Pippy.
Hello guys. So my name is Kshitij Shah, and I am working on this project of adding an AI assistant to the Pippy activity. As we know that Pippy activity is a place where kids learn how to code Python. So my task is to add an AI assistant which would make their coding journey easy. So as far as this project is concerned, it's mainly in two parts, the AI part and the UI part, and then we have to do integration of these two parts. So this is the AI part which I have completed in this 6 weeks. And I have basically implemented 4 features like code correction, code generation, and helping the new software developers who contribute to the Sugar code base understand the GTK and the Pygame involved in this code base of Sugar. So this is the AI model. In this AI model, I'm currently using a Llama 2 model, which you can see here. So this is a Llama 2 model, and basically I would be generating codes, correcting them, and also help user navigate through the Pygame and the GTK base. Though as far as the GTK and the Pygame is concerned, it was quite difficult to find proper data sets for them, and hence I decided to do a RAG approach instead of fine tuning them. The reason was that Pygame and GTK are not so generic compared to other data sets, hence finding them was difficult for the task which we wanted this AI model to perform. Hence, I shifted my focus from the fine tuning to a RAG based approach. And in this RAG based approach, I'm basically feeding my model 3 documents, which out of them 2 I have manually made, and another one is what I found from net. So this is the first documentation which I've loaded in this RAG model. And you can see here, it's covering all the important aspects of the GTK, all about the things like objects, how they work. This is G object, the APIs and everything. Second is the Sugar toolkit. It involves basically that how and what the GTK Sugar toolkit is consists of, and also I've included all the important modules which are frequently used in the Sugar toolkit. I have not included all the stuff in this documentation because it becomes difficult for the model to generate and understand things very well. And hence I have tried to include only that part which is necessary for the model and based on which the model can give an appropriate and good answer. So here you can see these are some of the most frequently used models while building activities in Sugar. So these are the toolbar box module and tool button modules. And at last I have added one hello world activity. So my mentor suggested me that the hello world activity is something where all the new developers first understand this code base because it's a most fundamental code base of the GTK. And hence I've included this code for the hello world activity and explained all the functions and the modules used within it. So this is my second documentation. And the third documentation which I found from net was the Pygame documentation. So this Pygame documentation consists of many things like introduction to the Pygame, working with images, text, GUI, making games, and lots of things. And you can see it's very systematic because it has proper codes along with the outputs and has proper explanation for the same. This is the ideal part which we needed for the AI assistant, and this documentation is serving all the purpose which we want. So hence I love this documentation and I have loaded this documentation in the model. So now let's look at the output which AI model is generating. So I have tested AI model on 3 to 4 questions. So this was the first code correction question, and as you can see that here I'm providing the add functions, add number. This is a function. I'm providing it only single parameter instead of 2 parameters, and then I'm telling the model to correct me this code, and we can see that the model has corrected the code by adding one more parameter along with the 5, and it has also provided me a proper explanation for the same. So this way model has passed with the first example. And let's consider this example in which I'm asking the model to generate me syntax of a for loop. These questions are very basic because we want to correspond as if a kid is asking this model any simple questions. So we have kept the simplicity of this question as low as possible. And this is the good example which the model has generated. Next question was about the Pygame, and scraping the data from the Pygame documentation, a model has generated this query. And this query is this result. And this result is about the how to change background using Pygame. So you can see how well it has written the code along with the proper explanation for the same. This is the explanation which you can see. And last, I have asked the model to give me an example of the sugar activity having GTK used in it. And so you can find the same here. So this way the model is generating absolutely amazing codes and serving all the purpose for which we were wanting. And yes, there are some hallucinations in this model, but I'm trying to remove them as soon as possible. Currently, in the 6 weeks, I've made the AI assistant as better as possible. Now I'm shifting my focus to the UI, and this is the rough Figma design for the UI which I'm going to make. So basically, we had made these two designs. This one for the Pippy-AI assistant, and this was the second one. So mentor suggested me that this one is quite better because here you can see the AI's assistant. You can code as well as you can see the terminal. Hence, it serves a multi-purpose. It serves us in many ways, and this is very better for the kids as well as developers because they can use the AI assistant as well as code simultaneously. Whereas in this approach, they would have to continuously switch between tabs, and it's not advisable because it makes kids get distracted. Hence, we have finalized upon this approach. Currently, we are trying to integrate more and currently we are trying to optimize this UI design as fast as possible. Once this UI design has been optimized, we would be working upon the integration of this AI part, this AI model which we had designed in this UI which we have made. And once the integration is done, our Pippy activity would be fully equipped with an AI assistant, and that's an amazing thing. So that's all from my side, and thank you.
Yes, so that's Kshitij Shah's presentation of his work. I think this is really, really great. Aayush, are you?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. Great. Then go ahead and show us your work on Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. Let me just share my screen. Yeah, here it is. And so I've been working on three different segments on Raspberry Pi. One is Turtle Art, where we are integrating some sensors to it. And the other is Raspberry Pi control panel, which basically is a control panel for changing different settings of the Raspberry Pi. And the last one is the camera for Raspberry Pi. Okay, so let's start with the Turtle Art activity. So in this, we have integrated a plugin, Raspberry plugin for utilizing basically different sensors. Let me just show you my Raspberry Pi. Hold on.
So right now I see turtle art.
Actually, I can't join from my screen. I can't turn my camera on from my phone. There is some permission error. You have not granted permission to. Okay. Okay. Then let me just show you from my laptop instead.
It's okay. Take your time. This is how people know that this is live and that we're actually doing this development and not just making it up.
Yeah. So this is the setup that I currently have. This is very lame. I'm sorry for this. So
Can you
this is
tell
the
us a little
current.
bit more about what we're looking at?
Huh.
Because I see a
Yeah.
breadboard.
Yeah, this is a breadboard, and these are some jumper wires which are connected to my Raspberry Pi. And this is an OLED display, and this is a blue LED simple light, and this is a push button. All right.
Mhm.
So let's go back to the turtle display. So here we have different blocks which we can utilize to modify the values of our sensor. Like this one is a GPIO block from which we can set the GPIO pins output from high to low or low to high, whichever we want. So, and then we have to just press start and I'm sorry. First we have to get it to high and then um, I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your camera, and I see the light is on.
Yeah. Yeah. So the light is on now. And then similarly, we can remove the high block and then put the low block. And then when we start it, the LED stops blinking. And similarly, we have some button blocks too, which we can use to set the flow of the container. Like if this, then that. Like we can set if the button on pin B15, if it is on, then we can just turn the GPIO LED on like this. So it's
So,
just for
you
basically just for
your
yeah.
video is not visible. It's all black.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, just for like the last 30 seconds or so. I think you should be able to share your screen and the video at the same time. That usually works.
Yeah, maybe you can just open the camera app on your laptop, and that will be okay.
Hold on.
If you try multiple devices in the same room, just be careful that you don't cause any feedback.
I hope you can see it now.
I cannot see anything right now.
From the other device, I actually hold on. Okay, let's just move on from title art for now. Let me just let me just show you the control panel.
Yeah, that's
So
okay.
this is the
I just had a quick question though. Did you create those new blocks for this project?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I created a PR too, but there was some changes to make.
Okay. Yeah,
These
go
are
ahead.
depends. This is the distance sensor and all. So I did that earlier. So let's move on to the Raspberry Pi control panel now. So the first screen you can see is GPIO pins. So we can control all the GPIO pins from here. This is really helpful
So
when it comes
right,
to debugging.
right now we can't see your screen at all. Can you maybe like
Oh,
just leave the room once and then come back in and hopefully that'll kind of reset.
yeah, hold on. Let me disconnect my other phones.
Okay. Yeah, we can see it now.
Huh.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Sure. So this is the Raspberry Pi control panel, and what you can see now is the Raspberry Pi GPIO pins controls. So you can turn on and off each one of the GPIO pins here. Right? This is really helpful when it comes to debugging and all. And then there is the I2C tab where you can see all the devices, I2C devices connected, I2C or I2C, whichever we want to call it. So right now our display is connected on my address, 3C hex address. So you can address that, and from Pippy you can just print any text you want on the OLED display that I just showed you. And then there is camera status, and all these have some work to do. And then there are some settings to toggle on and off the SSH server, for example, VNC, autologin, etc., I2C. So those are that. And then let's move on to the Raspberry Pi camera. Yeah. So this is the camera. Right now you can see the roof of my house. The feed might be lagging because of Wi-Fi, I think. But that's that. And there I have added some of the feature, but there's still some work left, like UI development and all the buttons. I have to change the buttons and all. And then you can add grids to the feed, and you can flip the image from left to right or from upside to downside, etc. Then you can just click this, press the snap button, and the picture will be clicked and saved to your pictures folder automatically, and similarly with the record button as well. So there's that. And since I couldn't show you the turtle art sensors, I might show you some examples that I did earlier. So this is the OLED display that you can see that I couldn't show you, but this is the image of how it looks. And then, hold on. Yeah. And this is the button and LED that also I couldn't show you, but here it is. That's how it works. And then there are some more other features that I have added, like the brightness of LED. You can dim the brightness and make it full, etc. And then there is a servo motor that you can run directly from the Raspberry Pi. It's pretty simple. So all these activities you can simply run from anywhere which runs Python. Either you can, if you want to develop, you can develop the activity and then import the sensor and directly use them, or you can use it from Pippy. So that was all that I've been working on so far.
Wow, this is really great. So, Aayush, I have a question for you. So we're seeing some of these simple examples. Having worked on it a little bit, do you have, you can see like the simple components. With these simple components, what sorts of things do you imagine, somebody could explore now with Raspberry Pi that they couldn't before, working on this?
Yeah, actually, I've been working with embedded development and software for quite a long time. So I know when it comes to these simple software, sometimes it's like very tedious to do everything like from scratch. You have to search for examples and then try it and then embed it into your code. So these building blocks that we are creating will in fact it will also help other users to and to ease the workflow, to get in the flow of development easily without getting into the details of how the sensors work and what do we need and what pins to connect, where to connect them. This all will be available directly here on the documentation, and there will be videos uploaded too that we will be making soon, and we will have a very like a very precise documentation of how as to how you can use those.
Yeah, that's helpful. That's great. I think my question was just slightly different. I'm imagining like teachers or learners in the classroom,
Uh-huh.
now with these features, like what sorts of projects can they do now that
Oh,
they,
projects.
yeah.
Yeah. So like these are basic building blocks. You can connect them in infinitely as many possibilities you want. So you can maybe build a robot that on pressing a button it says something or displays something text, or you can simply create a like a walkie-talkie phone where you can just uh, you can either speak to the person directly, or you can type something on your Raspberry Pi, and the other person with his Raspberry Pi can receive the text, and you can create a sort of like private server, chat server, and all. And then there are many car projects you can do. Simple. You can connect the Raspberry Pi with batteries, and then you can the servo motors I showed. You can use those servo motors to control the car from you know wired cars, simple models.
Thank you for those examples. I think that's helpful for people who aren't familiar with these things to kind of see like where this can take them. You're
Yeah.
still sharing the screen. I think you can stop sharing now. Anurag, can you maybe share like one, because you've been working with Aayush, one thing, that was like maybe a challenge that you encountered that you overcame working on this?
Yeah, so basically, I've been working on Raspberry Pi project from around like past 1.5 month, and before that, I have contributed to Sugar. So basically, the major problem, not problem, but it was a sort of a withholding thing that was to initially set up everything from scratch, that is Sugar on desktop or with the headless server and everything. For that, I learned different types of how you can set up different environments, how the Unix system actually works, and how the Linux is basically built from scratch. And that was a very great learning from the setup point of view. And regarding the Raspberry point of view, of course, it is a SCB, that is a computer board, and a $5 computer board which is capable of doing many larger things, including nowadays we can incorporate AI and all those sort of stuff into the Raspberry Pi, which we can explore. And I've been exploring recently, and it has been a great learning for me.
Great. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to restart the stream real quick before we move on to the next thing, because we only get an hour. Okay, great. So let's go on to Qixiang Wang, who sent us a video about his work on AI integration in the chat activity.
Hello everyone, it's Qixiang. Today I will bring my GSoC midterm presentation. My project is to add an AI chatbot to the chat activity. Here's the agenda for today's presentation. Here's some information about me. I'm a graduate majoring in software engineering in Nankai University. This September, I will go to the UCSD to continue my master study. I'm an AI and web enthusiast, a full-stack software developer, and an open source contributor. Here's the project overview. This project aims to enhance Sugar Lab's chat activity by adding an AI chatbot for kids. I hope that the introduction of chatbot can bring joy for young learners in chat. It would be accessible in both private and neighborhood modes, which will help enrich the user experience for the young. And then I will introduce my AI progress first. This is the chatbot project architecture that I mentioned in my last presentation earlier, so I won't give a detailed introduction here today. These are some complete tasks for AI part. I have selected Llama 3 and Gemma 2 as the models for chatbot framework in chat activity. I also have fine-tuned these models, and I implemented some purple engineering methods in my project and constructed a multimodal workflow for my chatbot framework. So we can see that the AI part of the work is almost complete. In the next phase, I will focus on the work of Sugar part. This is the current workflow of the chatbot model framework. Due to limited computing resources, I chose a small parameter model, especially Llama 3 8B, and fine-tuned it based on some open source datasets like Hugging Face or Peggle datasets. However, the model sometimes fails to generate fully age-appropriate answers. Therefore, I applied a modification model to adjust the content generated by the previous model. In this case, I chose Google Gemma 2 9 billion as a modification model, and it performed very well. It can help modify the answer, the initial response generated by the fine-tuned Llama 3 8 billion. And this is the current workflow for the model framework in chat activity. Oh, sorry. Please wait. And then I will introduce my Sugar progress. For Sugar part first, I designed the chatbot UI on the basis of previous UI of chat activity. Here, I want to add a chatbot on the lower left part of the interface. If you click the button, you would see that an chatbot message appear at the front end, at the front part of input box. If you click it again, the chatbot message would disappear. And here's the actual implementation result. If you click the button, the chatbot message would appear. If you click again, this message would disappear. And then I will introduce my plan for next phase. For the next phase, I plan to focus on the work related to Sugar part, which is also a big task that you can see in my slide. I will try the integration of chatbot, which is associated with the model deployment in AI part. I will also implement the UI for chat activity because now the chatbot UI in chat activity is still not complete. And then is development of the session management module. It will help enhance the context keeping ability for the chatbot framework. Additionally, we'll collaborate and discuss model deployment in my community. As it's a common challenge faced by several of our projects. So we will discuss it and get a conclusion. So please stay tuned for my and our future progresses. And that's all from my side. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to reach out to me in Matrix channel. Thanks.
So that's Qixiang Wang's presentation. He mentioned, resources. We're very much, trying to get, resources so that we can, have, these generative AI services available for teaching and learning. So, please consider, following us, to stay tuned. Please consider joining, going to the website. If you're able to contribute, there's details at the bottom on how to make a financial contribution under a link that says donations. We have one more video, and this is another math games. So this will be the last presentation for today. And I'll start it in just a second. Here we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Spandan and I have developed 3 new activities for the Sugar desktop environment. And these 3 activities are the river crossing activity, the Latin squares activity, and the name game activity. So let's take a look at the river crossing activity. So there's a simple how to play, simple instructions for how the game is to be played, explaining the simple rules. So let's play. It's really simple. We all know the solution to this, right? That clearly is not the solution. So that was the solution for the river crossing activity. Now let's take a look at the name game activity. So in name game, you take turns removing objects. Against you, there's a simple robot. He'll also be using these dialogues every so often whenever he is making a move, and you can reset these. There's also a how to play. There's also the mathematical explanation for the strategy behind name game. That's it for the name game. Now let's take a look at the Latin squares activity. So this right here is the Latin squares activity. The green boxes, you can actually change the numbers inside of them, and the blue boxes are as it is, and your goal is that every row and every column using these operations somehow results in these numbers, right? So as you can see, 1 into 2 is clearly 2, 2 minus 2 is clearly 0. Well, so just going by simple logic, this right here should be 2, and that's how we complete our level. So in the next level again, as you can see, this needs to be 2 and this needs to be 3. So that's our level 2 completed. Similarly, there are a lot of levels. I am planning on adding a simple timer as well, so that we can keep track of how long it took us to complete one particular level. So that is it. Those were the 3 new activities I have created for the Sugar environment till now. The next activity I'm planning to work on is the illusion box activity, and those are all the updates. That's how this summer has been going. That's how GSoC 2024 has been going with Sugar Labs till now. There are more activities to be developed, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you all are too. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Spandan and I
Great. So that's those are all the presentations today. Those are all the presentations for our interlude. So again, the middle of Google Summer of Code and Code for GovTech's DMP projects. I want to thank all of the contributors who have been developing, sharing their time and experience, as well as their mentors, helping them get up and running, solve problems. And like I said earlier, we're going to do this one more time, before, their final evaluations to show, the more, the complete projects. And if you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing, liking this video, sharing these videos with others, and follow our work on sugarlabs.org, on Mastodon, and other social media platforms that you can find at the bottom of sugarlabs.org. Thank you again, and hope to see you soon. Okay, bye.